Okay, so what if I told you that most businesses are throwing away a ton of money by overspending when they acquire customers? In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to figure out how much you should spend, and I'm going to give you a Google Sheet and show you the whole playbook for how to get the numbers, okay? Follow along with me. So one of the biggest things is like when you are looking at acquiring customers, you obviously have customer acquisition costs. And so then you acquire a cohort of customers, and those customers pay you back over time. I'm going to show you how to figure out how fast they will pay you back and whether you should acquire customers at a first purchase loss or not. So the first thing I'm going to need you to do is go to your Shopify. All right. Go to analytics, go to reports, customer cohort analytics here. You are going to leave it set to last 12 months. Metric is going to be net sales. Interval is monthly. And when this loads, you'll then hit export. See if it'll work right now. Great. Export. Look. All right. So the way what we're going to do is we're going to wait. Oh, there it is. Customer cohort. There we go. Perfect. Grab the page. It's going to open up here. And what you're going to do is hit Control A and copy. You're going to copy the whole thing. You're going to come over here to this tab right there, and you're going to go Control Shift V, just like that. Cool. The next thing I'm going to need you to do is input your gross margin, your shipping as percentages of revenue, of course, payment processing, and influencer commissions. And you can put in your affiliate payments or other variable costs you have, but not including your ad spend. The next thing you need to do is go to QuickBooks or go to Xero or Triple Whale or what have you, and input your ad spend for each of these cohorts here. And the thing that's going to show up is whether you made money on each cohort or not. So we can see that all of these made money on the first purchase. These ones did as well. This cohort, however, did not. But if you scroll to the right, you can see that it started making money in the second month the customer was with us. So this is the first order. This is the first month. This is theoretically the second month they've been with you, and the third month they've been with you here. Okay, great. So now you know whether you made money on these customer cohorts or not. Great. So that we know what we did actually. Now what we can do is we can come in here and we can input what we might have spent on these cohorts and see if it's worth it to acquire customers and how fast they would pay back. So I've sort of preloaded some information here. It looks like you could spend up to $19 to acquire these customers profitably. 21 is on the edge depending on the cohort, but typically it is a first month loss. Now, what you need to ask yourself is it worth spending 92,000 customers and I don't make money in the first month, but then I make 26,000 in the second month, and by month 2 I have made a total of $50,000 in profit from these customers. So is that worth it? I think so. That's like saying you paid for the customers in November. By December, they made you 26. By January, they made you 50,000. And there's other ones where they barely made any money in the first month, but look what they're making now. So 25,000, and this was on 29,000 of ad spend. So you've doubled your money in that case. The question we need to ask ourselves is what's worth it for us? If we look at this cohort here from 2024 October, we can see that if we had spent 126,000 customers and we acquired the same number of customers, we would have lost money in the first month. And in month 1, so the second month, we would have made 36,000. So from here to here, this cohort has returned to us about $160,000 of margin, of which 126,000 was, have to cover the ad spend. So is it worth it? I would say that it is. Here is one key thing I want you to look at. The average revenue retention curve. What this thing means is that from the first order, obviously it's always going to be 100%. So any customer gives you $20 the first time. In the same month, let's say this was 10. Let's say this was $100. Okay, that makes it easier. Now they're going to give you 103. In the second month, it's 129 total cumulative revenue dollars, right? Third month, 147. Fourth month, 161. So the amount of retention is very high. Okay, so in a situation like this, I would say that it is okay to buy customers at a first month loss, and sometimes at a second month loss, right? Because they build revenue very quickly in this company. Okay, you can see that by month 6, they have almost doubled the revenue in that cohort, right? Cumulative. So when is it not okay to acquire somebody at a first purchase loss? Well, here is another file. Again, this is all made up numbers, right? And in this fake client file, and this is based on apparel, to be honest. Like I used to own an apparel company, and so I know what the curve looks like. So still $103 returned in the first month. By the second month, this cohort would return to 109, then 112. And I would say that if you look at this here, by month 2, they're over 130% of revenue, right? So they gave you $100 here, and by month 3, you have 147. I would say that that's probably the lower limit, meaning that if this number at month 2 is less than 130%, I would not acquire customers at a first purchase loss. Now, let's look at it, right? I've used the exact same numbers, same margin figures. I've used the same initial, I've used different ad spend figures, right? For the same revenue and customers and all these things. And I showed you what it would look like if you acquired these people at a loss. If you look at this cohort, so this is the September, they paid $96,000 in this case, and by the third month they've only made $4,000. Is that worth it? I don't think so. If you look at this one here, September, they paid $92,000 there. Actually, we could set it the same way, could we? 96. Let's have a look. Great. So this is 96, and the cohort curve, the revenue retention curve, is way steeper. So they spent the same 96 as in the other case, but by the second month they made $22,000 in profit. Is that worth it? Probably. So to me, the lower bound for this month 2 figure should be 130%. So in this case, we don't want to do that. In this case, we do want to do that. I think that makes sense. I think that is relatively safe. Now, if you're going to acquire people at a first purchase loss, you have to very closely manage your cash flow, because if you do it wrong, you'll be fucked, right? Because you're going to be losing money on every cohort you buy. Every customer you buy, you will lose money. So you have to be very, very careful. But I would say that in a company like this, with the cohort curve that's so high, and again, I've falsified all these numbers, none of these are real, that I would be willing to acquire customers at a first month loss. And in some cases, like if you look here, let's see what a 2-month loss looks like. Let's see. Hang on. So now you buy these customers for $40,000 in this cohort. You lose money for month 1 and month 2, and then in month 3 you make $3,300 profit. By month 4 it's $8,000. 5 is $12,000. So is that worth it? You've not quite doubled your money, so I would say maybe you don't do it. This is again, it's on $40,000 of ad spend, and it takes you 5 months to make 16 grand. Probably not worth it. I don't think that makes a lot of sense. So I would reset this to be, yeah, I mean, 1 month loss is okay, because then by month 5 you've made 25,000 with an initial investment of 32. So you've essentially you've doubled your money. You got your money back plus another same what you invested. So that's probably okay. But anyway, all this to say, be very careful. But this sheet, I mean, you can have it. I'm going to set this to be shareable, and all you have to do is click File, make a copy, go to your store, reports, customer cohort, net sales, export it, and then just copy this right here. Just copy it, it'll work. And then all this analysis is running in the back end here, which you're welcome to take a look at, of course. But yeah, you can, again, input your margin, and this would be the area where you're testing your spend. So this is the actuals. This is testing, okay? So take a look at that. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to email, LinkedIn, book a meeting if you want to. But anyway, I hope that is very helpful. If there's anything I can do about it, please comment or let me know. Bye, everybody.